Hey guys, did you know that learning how to play the piano and studying languages have more in common than you might think? When you want to learn a new piece of music, you need to read it first. You take the notes into your little precious hands to scan the sheet for the very first time, to check if there are any similarities between the bars. Maybe some sections are repeated. You check the meter. You familiarize yourself with the melodic line. Perhaps you learn a thing or two about the composer. And all this helps you understand the piece, befriend it, and maybe fall in love with it. And believe it or not, but the same goes for a foreign language. It's worth getting to know it before starting to learn it. Find out about sentence structure. It can be different for every language. For example, as far as I know, in Chinese, they say everything the other way around. Same for German, as far as I know, but I don't speak it. Can't help you. You might also want to check if the pronunciation aligns with the spelling, because it doesn't have to be the case in all of the languages. For example, in English, pronunciation does not align with spelling. And in French, whoa, it's like a lottery. And the last but not least is that there might be some dialects, like in Arabic. There are so many dialects, and each dialect is like a new language. Listen, bars are like words. Do you want to play the piece? Learn to read the bars, or measures in American English. You need to know what is going on in them. If you don't, you won't be able to play the piece. Without understanding what is written in it, you will be like Alice in the Wonderland. I'm not saying it's not a beautiful place, but on the other hand, staying there for quite so long can be boring and tiresome. Just learn your bars, notes. Get to know which C you need to press on the keyboard, and get to know how to differentiate between staccato, legato, and all the other things. They're all written down in every single bar. And pardon my pronunciation, I meant legato. Speaking of words, if you can differentiate between different parts of speech, it is way easier for you to communicate within a language. What I mean is, if you can tell the difference between a noun and an adjective or an adverb, you will know where to put a certain word into a sentence. If you want to tell the difference between a noun and an adjective, or adverb and an adjective, and so on, usually what you need to do is just to know the endings of the particular parts of speech. Now, like, I believe you don't want to say the weather is normally. I believe you want to say the weather is normal. And instead of saying I apologetic to you, you want to say I apologize. If you can recognize different parts of speech from the very beginning of language learning, it is easy for you to learn the language, to communicate in the language, to use the proper structure of the sentence. And please remember, those are my personal opinions. Phrases. I love them so much. Aren't they fascinating? Like, phrases in music and phrases in language are basically the same. Isn't it fascinating? I'm over the moon. So, according to Encyclopedia, the musical phrase consists of two or more motifs that form a complete musical idea. It is often referred to as a two-measure phrase. And on the other hand, we have the linguistic phrase. The linguistic phrase is a combination of words that forms a complete semantic and intonational unit. A phrase in music consists of a few bars, and a phrase in language consists of a few words. When I learn a new piece of music, I approach it, at least I try to approach it in phrases instead of like separate bars. You know, it significantly speeds up the process of learning and it facilitates it. When I play the music, it is fluent. And the same applies to language. Instead of learning separate words, I learn phrases. Because in phrases, you also have all those prepositions. And keep in mind that prepositions work differently in all of the languages.
And, I guess that there aren't, too many rules on how and when to use certain prepositions. Of course, there are some of the rules, but you cannot apply them in all the languages and everywhere.
And everybody hates prepositions. Long story short, musical phrase consists of a few bars. The linguistic phrase consists of a few words. Some pieces take years to learn, and it can be tiring and discouraging. In such cases, it's worth taking a break and focusing on something else. It doesn't mean that you have to resign from playing your beloved instrument. What I mean is you can focus on other parts, like on other pieces, on what you already know. Maybe you just want to have fun with it. That's totally fine. When learning a foreign language, it's good to do the same thing from time to time. When you feel overwhelmed with learning, just throw your books away, like throw your materials away and just have fun. You may have fun with language. Maybe you just want to have a break. Maybe you need to have a break. Maybe your brain needs to relax a little bit. Sometimes it happens that my students, after having a week, 2, or even a month of break, like when we see each other, their English is way better than it was before the break. They just needed to relax. And remember, it doesn't mean that you have to abandon the language you're learning for eternity. You may just have a little bit of fun with it. Just watch something you really like without forcing yourself into studying new vocabulary lists, vocab, grammar, and so on. Remember, intensive learning can be exhausting. So, there you have it. Learn languages like musicians.